Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm back. We're back from our trip. Just enjoying this wonderful walk out here in beautiful southern New Jersey, and just getting my walk on here. It's a very nice day. It's about in the mid 70s, I guess, and just very nice out here just to get out. And we're going to be doing, just to let you know, we're going to be doing a lot more videos like this where we're going to be incorporating outside in our videos. You know, in the past, when you look at our videos, you know, I'm right in front of my computer, you know, and I'm just doing what I do, you know, but I want to start bringing things outside because we love nature, you know, and the videos that we do should reflect that. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of that. But anyway, yeah, got back from our trip and man, we just crashed. We still are, you know, we're still adjusting and all of that. It was a very inspirational, motivational, very nice trip. But yeah, I wanted to do this video because former President Obama just did this video, an interview, sit down interview. I'll try to play the clip in here.
We had your wife Michelle on the show, and she had mentioned that for about 10 years of the marriage, she really didn't like you.
Oh man!
So asking for a friend, how do you get back in good graces? Again, for a friend, you got a pen so I can take some notes.
Let me just say this. It sure helps to be out of the White House and to have a little more time with her.
Right.
You know, what also helps, though, about children. And
yeah.
I don't know about your spouse. Michelle, when our girls were growing up, that was priority number 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Of course.
And so I did not fully appreciate, I think, as engaged of a father as I was, the degree of stress and tension for her, knowing that not just me and Michelle were under scrutiny and in this strange environment, but that we were raising our daughters,
of course,
in a kind of situation that it just wasn't normal. Now that they're doing good,
yeah,
you know, she is a little more forgiving of all my flaws. She says, you know, what she's told me is, you know, looking back, you did okay as a dad.
Yeah.
And if I pass that test, then she'll forgive me most of my other foibles.
But he basically is he's responding to his wife, Michelle Obama's statement that she made some time ago, wasn't too long ago, where she basically said in 10 years, it was about 10 years in their marriage, she couldn't stand him.
And people think I'm being catty by saying this. It's like there were 10 years when I couldn't stand my husband.
You know? Do say that. You say 10 years.
And guess when it happened? When those kids were little, right? And for 10 years, while we're trying to build our careers and, you know, worrying about school and who's doing what and what, you know, I was like, this isn't even. 10 years, we've been married 30.
Wow.
I would take 10 bad years over 30. It's just how you look at it, right? And people give up for the 5 years. I can't take it.
How
it was
do you
bad.
know? What is the, because sometimes
you gotta know your person. Do you like him? I mean, you could be mad at him, but do you still look at him and go, I'm not happy with you, but I respect you?
And, you know, when you take in the full context, because that's also very important to take in as well, what it sounded like is she was saying is that, because she was talking about the pressures of, you know, both of them building a career, what was it, the other thing? You know, they're just out of college, and so they're just trying to do their thing, plus the whole, you know, being parents, young parents. And she was just saying it was all of that, I guess, that contributed to her not can't standing him for 10 years. You know, my wife and I, we have been married for over 20 years, well over 20 years. And when I heard this, I was like, yo, that ain't normal. That's not normal. I mean, in other words, marriages do go through, you're going to have your times where you're going through stuff, and, you know, there's going to be times where you don't see things eye to eye. What was that, my dog? No, that wasn't my dog. You're going to have times when you're not seeing things eye to eye. You know what I'm saying? But if you ever reach the point where you can't stand this person that you made a commitment to for 10 years, I mean, I'm trying to get you to understand that. That's not something to take lightly. You know what I'm saying? That's not something to just kind of overlook that and be like, well, you know, hey, listen, because I was reading some of the comments and people were trying to say, hey, listen, marriage is a covenant, and covenant, sometimes you just going to have to take things where you're going to have to take. Yeah and no. Yeah and no. I do hear that. Now, I'm going to take my marriage, for example. Nicole and I, there have been times, of course, where we have seen things quite differently. You know, we may have butted heads a little bit, but I'm going to be honest with our marriage. I can only speak on our marriage. I or her, we have never reached a point where we couldn't stand each other for years. I mean, maybe a day, maybe a day or so. That's about it. So when someone says that they couldn't stand each other for years, that's not normal. And the reason why I just wanted to kind of chime in on this is because of the fact that you have a lot of marriages out there who are like that, and they do see that as normal. But I'm telling you, that is not normal. Hey, take a look before we finish up. Look at these cattle out here. Check them out, man. I mean, they just be out there just chilling. I try not to get too close to them because, you know, when I start getting closer, the little ones, they start going running to their mommies and daddies and stuff. I'm like, oh, you know, I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna touch y'all. See that? Anyway, let me turn on back here because this is gonna be a short walk. Check them out. See how at peace they are? That's why I like coming by on this road here. They said, man, give us some grass and we good. Anyway, but let me finish up here. The only thing I'm trying to say is this, is that, you know, I'm sure if you have older people within your family, you may have, you know, heard of stories where your aunties and your uncles or whatever, your grandparents even, they may have stayed together for a long time because it was the thing to do. You have to endure it. This is your husband, this is your wife for life, and, you know, you may not be able to stand each other and all of that, so you got to tough it out, and that's it. Not liking each other is okay. It's okay because that's part of a relationship, but not just a relationship, but it should be a friendship. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? In other words, when you just look at marriage as a covenant, in other words, like a business arrangement, you should never look at marriage as just that. That's all I'm trying to say. The foundation of a marriage should be your the love that you have with each other, for each other. It should be friendship. It should be those things. Now, other things too that come into play and all of that, you know, commitment and all that stuff. But the foundation should be, number one, y'all like each other. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't like someone, I mean, that's not enough. You know what I mean? And that's very dangerous. You know what I mean? And you're just kind of seeing someone as your come up. Well, don't think it's going to last but so long. You are going to endure sometimes where you aren't going to stand each other for a very, very long time. Now, all we can do really is speculate as to, because when I hear about, you know, both of them were very career oriented, which, you know, when you read a little bit about their backgrounds, I mean, they were very career oriented. So when I hear people who are that very career oriented and going through stages like that where they said, man, I just couldn't stand this person for a long time. That's kind of normal. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe she was mad because her husband was getting more shine than she was, or whatever. That could be the case. We don't know. But the only thing I'm trying to say is this. If you and your marriage have ever reached a point where you can't stand your spouse, then I'm going to tell you this right now. You need to take some time and you need to go ahead and you need to get some counseling. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't just have this mindset, well, we're just going to ride it out. If you ever reach the point where you feel like you're going to have, if you can't stand your spouse, like kind of what she said, because those are some pretty strong words she put out there, then you need to go get some counseling. And, marriage has got to be something that's real, that's something that lasts for a lifetime, because you're building legacy. You understand? It's okay if you go through times where, you guys don't see eye to eye. That's going to be a normal part of just about any relationship. But not seeing things eye to eye is a lot different than me saying I can't stand somebody. When someone says I can't stand them, can't stand this individual, that speaks from something a lot deeper. That's the point I'm trying to make. And I don't want people, particularly our young people who are out here, hearing like people like this, of this caliber. Here in this case, you're talking about the former president of the United States and his wife. I don't want people thinking, because a lot of black folks have raised this couple up to such a high level of they're just gods on earth for them. You know what I'm saying? And trying to make it seem like they're whatever, that we got to follow the example. What I'm telling you is 10 years of saying that you can't stand your spouse isn't a good example at all. It isn't. Not in marriage, it isn't. Now if you're getting counseling, that's a good thing. And so don't ever accept that as some kind of norm. That is not normal, and you need to go get some help. And I don't know if they did or not. I don't know if they just wrote it out. I don't know what they did, because I wasn't the third person in their marriage. But what I am saying to you is that's a long time. 5 years is a long time. A year is a long time. When you're saying you can't stand your spouse, that's a long time. And so my encouragement to you is, if you ever encounter something like that in your own marriage, go get some counseling, go get help. As a people, family, we have been broken. We have had to hype each other up to endure things and to make it through and all of that. And, some of that's understandable. But this right here, there's plenty of help where you can get it and you can be whole and healed. And we can be out here building a solid foundation for the generations to come. And sometimes in that generation building or legacy building, you can get some, you need to go get some help. You know what I mean? You can't do it all yourself, and being honest and transparent with your spouse too. That's the other thing. And, because when you have a mindset like that, it just leaves the doors open for all kind of other things to happen. Then you begin to start excusing behavior. And that's why you have people in that world that are out here saying, well, hey, listen, we've come to an agreement that, he can have his thing and I can have my thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, that's not normal. So I'm telling you, as someone who's been married, madly in love with one woman for over 20, we're getting almost to 25 years. I've never had a time where I've said I couldn't stand her like that. Never. But that's our marriage. You understand what I'm saying? But I do understand other people who may have experienced stuff like that. I understand that too, and I get that. And I'm saying to you, for those of you who have experienced that kind of stuff, man, go out here and get you some help. Go get some counseling. There's some very good counselors out here. Just reach out to us, message us, and we can send you some connections that we have so that you can get the help that you need, okay? All right, family, listen, you guys take care. Love you. I'm going to go ahead and finish this walk, man, before I see the headless horseman pop up out of here, okay? All right, y'all. Y'all take care, and I'll see you next time. All right, so today I'm here in Philly because I'm trying to get doing a quick video here because I wanted to add one other point to what I was saying in the video, and that's this. I guess I'll stop here because I don't want these girls thinking I'm filming them and I'm not. It's one thing I want to add is this, is just because I know some people are going to add, well, hey man, they've been married, the Obamas, they've been married for about 30 years, so that's a testimony. Yeah, it is, but one thing you got to understand too, there are people who've been married longer than that and still hate themselves or still can't stand one another. So you can't necessarily look at 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, or whatever as a sign of success, because that's not true. You got people who have been married 50, 60 years, and we look at that like, wow, that is a marriage that has lasted. But when you start digging into some of these marriages, unfortunately, what you'll discover is that the only reason why they didn't call it Splitsville is because of the fact they had no other choices. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so they just kind of settled in, hey, listen, I'm just here with you. What I'm saying is this, is that marriage shouldn't be where I'm just going to stick with you because I have no other choices. Marriage should be something that you truly love this person and there's nothing in you that says, I can't stand this person. Of course, you guys are going to knock heads or whatever if you don't see eye to eye on some things. Listen, that happens. It's understandable. We get that. But like I was saying to the point of this video, I mean, man, if you 10 years deep in your marriage and you saying for 10 years you couldn't stand your spouse, that's a pretty strong thing that you can't take lightly. And again, one more time, you need to get counseling for something like that. If it's something that long, that's the only point I'm trying to make. And so again, 30 years, 40 years, it's not necessarily a sign of success, because you do have many examples out here of people who've been married a lot longer than that. And they're saying the same thing that Michelle Obama says, that I can't stand this person. And the only reason why they don't dip out and jet is because they don't have any other options. Marriage shouldn't be like that. Yes, it's a commitment. Yes, it's a covenant. But at the same time, it should be something that you just are driven by the love that you have for one another. That's the point I'm trying to make. So, all right, you guys take care. Let me go find my car, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.